Hello and welcome to my channel. So I'm going to do a tag today. I was tagged last week by MJ at Reading This Life to do the Contradictions Book Tag. And so that is what I'm going to attempt to do today. I have the questions pulled up on my computer here in front of me. A quick word about this tag. This tag fits well with people who read very wide genres. I am a very sort of focused reader at the moment. I've been reading a lot of classics and classic literature, and so I don't really have great answers for all of these questions, but I'm going to give it my best shot to answer them all well. MJ, thank you so much for tagging me. I will link to her video down below. Be sure to check it out. Subscribe to her channel. She does some awesome stuff over there. I will also link to the original creator of the video, so you can also go check out the original video. So, prompt number 1 is, love this genre, but I didn't like this book. So the genre will be classic literature, and the book for me is J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye. I have read it twice now. Both times it just didn't do much for me. I know it's a quite controversial book. There's a lot of sort of polarizing opinions about it. The reason I didn't like it is I just wasn't grabbed by the story. I didn't really, I wasn't able to get pulled into it. So it's definitely a book that I'll consider reading again in the future to give it a third try. But for right now, love the genre, didn't like the book. Prompt 2 is, I rarely read this genre, but I loved this book. So for me, that's going to be The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. I'm trying to get into more science fiction this year. That's one of the first that I read a couple weeks ago. Absolutely loved it. Don't really read the genre, but I loved the book. Questions 3 and 4 are, I loved this trope, but I didn't like this book. And I hate this trope, but I love this book. I'm just going to come out and say I don't have a good answer for either of these questions. They don't necessarily fit into the type of reading that I read. The books I read don't really have a lot of tropes. And so I am going to leave both of those unanswered because I could not do them justice, and go down to prompt number 5, which is, I love this author, but I didn't like this book. So for me, that author would be Anthony Doerr. I absolutely love Anthony Doerr, but his book, Cloud Cuckoo Land, from last year, just didn't do it for me. I read it on January 1st, and I sort of plowed through it. I read it in one sitting just because it was too convoluted for me. He's an exceptional writer, but I felt that maybe he bit off a little bit more than he could chew in this. There's a lot of switching between perspectives and switching between timelines, which I think in theory is amazing, but just the way it was executed wasn't exactly to my taste. Prompt 6 is, I previously disliked a book by this author, but I loved this book. Again, I don't really have a great answer for this. I tend to kind of fluctuate back and forth on liking certain books by certain authors. So really, it could be any author that I have read. I don't love every book by every author that I read. So I'm going to move on to prompt 7, which is, I love this cover, but I didn't like this book. I try not to be too judgy about covers, but of course it happens to all of us. For me, that was Donna Tartt's The Goldfinch. I was instantly drawn to the cover. I thought it was, very intriguing, quite a beautiful cover. The book, however, didn't hold up for me. Just for a couple of reasons. One, I just felt that it was much too long for what it needed to be. I felt it could have been a lot shorter. And then the characters didn't pull me in. I wasn't able to connect with them on a human level, to really sympathize with them. It's definitely a book that I would consider coming back to again in the future. Let it sit for a while and then come back to it. I read it twice and still haven't been able to fully connect with it. So that's kind of a signal to me that it may just not be a book for me, but it's certainly one that I would be up for trying again. Prompt 8 is, I didn't like this cover, but I love this book. This is another one that I don't really have a great answer to. I do pay attention to the covers of books, but that's not necessarily a breaking point for me. And so as long as the book's good, I love it. If I don't like the cover, if I think the cover didn't fit the book well, that's not going to be a deal breaker for me. Or at least I try not to let it be. And then prompt 9 is tag someone. So if you're watching this video and you also make videos here on BookTube, totally do this tag. It's very interesting. It's challenging. It's definitely been the hardest one for me to come up with good answers to. And as you see, I skipped 3 of them because I didn't have good answers. So if you would like to do this tag, totally feel free to. I will leave the prompts in the description below so you can grab those for your future use. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any thoughts about any of the points that I mentioned, please feel free to leave a comment in the description or in the comment section below. And subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content in the future. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.